Okay, I think we are streaming. I am just getting things set up. Trying to get my chat come up in OBS, but it's not appearing. You know what? I think I'm just going to pop it out into a separate window. Okay. I think that's all set up. Bear with me one moment. Okay. I think that's ready. It's only the second time I've gone live, so a lot of things are still kind of new to me, and not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing in OBS versus YouTube Studio. So it's still a massive learning curve. But if anyone is watching, please do say hello. Thank you for joining. It's Sunday afternoon, at least for me. It's 3:30 Sunday afternoon. So I thought I'd just have a bit of a Sunday chill afternoon, a bit of an Ark chat. I might show a bit of Ark. I know some people have been asking, I'll do a base reveal and all that sort of stuff. I've got a very small base, but I thought I might as well do a bit of a reveal. Maybe go over some of the Ark patch notes from the recent major update as well, and see what's going on there. But let me just share my stream. I should have done this beforehand. Okay, so the chat is actually working. I wasn't quite sure because there was nothing coming up. So it is actually working. Yeah, I can never quite tell. The red light's on, but I wasn't quite sure. Am I actually live? Right, so my chat is showing up now. I've had to move some things around. So hello, Weaselman, Michael, Fruitbat Cat, Apex. You're going to bed now. No, that's fine. That's fine. We're all in different time zones. It's 3:30 Sunday afternoon for me. So got some time for a bit of a chill, but don't worry about that. I'll keep that in mind for next time. Might do it a little bit earlier. I want to try and move times around for time zones and stuff, so don't worry. But thanks for coming in. I'm doing good, Michael. Let me just remove that message from my screen. So we're now set up. There we go. It's gone. So I'm getting used to this whole OBS transitions, all that sort of stuff. I've been doing some live streams on TikTok, and that is a hell of a platform. It is frustrating to use. I keep on getting restricted. I put some Arc patch notes up on the screen on TikTok, and I got restricted straight away for reused content. I think it's something to do with I had no camera feed on the screen at the time, so it instantly thought I was reusing content. It's been a real pain. So I've decided to try YouTube again for a bit, and try and get into the hang of things with that a bit more. Hi, Joker. Welcome. Good morning to you. It's afternoon here. And I am planning on just having a bit of a Sunday chill session and a bit of an Arc chat to talk about what's going on with Arc at the moment in regards to news. There wasn't much in the community crunch, I'm sure you will have noticed, and I thought maybe just jump on Arc for a little bit. I'm not really going to do like proper gameplay and stuff, but maybe just show you around my base and all that sort of thing, and hope that my stream copes with that, because I've not really streamed properly before. I've not done gameplay streaming, so I'm hoping that my setup is all good for that and it's not going to buffer, but we'll have to see. Hi, Pop Tea. Thank you for joining. I didn't schedule any of this, so it's suddenly just, gone live. I'm not really one for a streaming schedule at the moment. So let me just share some Arc stuff while people are coming in. I'm down London way in the UK. Obviously not going to say for specifics where, but yeah, down sort of London southeast area. And it looks like it's getting a bit stormy. Let me just change to Arc just to make sure it works. Okay, can someone let me know in the chat that you can see Arc on the screen and my camera? Because I just want to make sure that that is the case. Yeah, I think it's going to get all stormy here as well. It's pretty black at the moment outside. I do love a thunderstorm though. You can see my character. Good. Good. As I say, I don't really do Arc streams as in gameplay because, there's several reasons why I don't do gameplay in Arc videos or streaming. One, particularly videos. Streaming's different because you've got the chat. Videos is I'm not very good at recording. I wondered who was talking then, but it's the robot thing. I thought, hang on, who's on the stream? Recording, playing the game, and talking all at the same time, I'm not good at. Quite often I get involved in the game and I forget to talk. And when I then end up editing the video, it's like it's useless because I'm not talking. That's the main reason I don't do gameplay videos, because I don't feel like it comes across as entertaining, because I struggle to do all three things together. It doesn't do well, so I mainly stick to news. I don't play single player as in playing single player mode. I play it on my own servers, so I am playing solo, but I don't actually play single player mode. I only use single player mode if I'm testing stuff out. I can't stand playing single player mainly because of the spawn issues, with things not spawning out of like hibernation and stuff. Yeah, I don't really get along with that. I used to play it in Ark Survival Evolved, but not anymore. So, I'm in K mode. So this is my base. Let me just go outside. So I'm on the water. So you'll probably guess I'm on the island at the moment. So I've got two servers up at the moment. I've got the island and I've got Ragnarok. It's not a local server that I host. It's a Nitrado provided hoster for my content creation, which is one of the reasons why I've only got two at the moment, because I can't really have one server for every single map. So at the moment I focus on the island, and then my second server I tend to switch over to the new map that comes out. So at the moment that's Ragnarok, and then when Valguero comes out I'll switch over to Valguero. That's how I'm doing it at the moment. I'm not playing Ark constantly anyway, and I'm really behind on what my plans are. I keep focusing on building, and then I get distracted and move on to breeding, and I never finish anything. I'm always like that. It's crazy. Yeah, Joker, I didn't do non-dedicated server, so it's a dedicated server. Michael, that's a good reason to have single player, not trusting other people. But yeah, I've always been a solo player, but not really single player. I do play a single player in a lot of games. Just Ark tends to be better playing as a single player, but on a server. I personally find. So let's have a look. Hang on. Okay, so this is where I am on the island. All the way down in the south on the beach, nice and quiet. There are some things that spawn around here, but I think the worst thing that spawns is a dillo. I don't think, maybe raptors. I'm not sure. But this is where I am right here. So there's Herbivore Island, obviously. What are my settings? I presume you mean Ark settings. No one cares about audio. So I run a 1080. I'd love to have a 1440 setup. I have I have a 4070 GPU. I don't have a 2K or 4K monitor. I would love to have one. The reason I've stuck with a 1080 originally was because in this room that I had set up, I had such a small desk that because I work from home as well, so I had such a small desk. I had one monitor for work and one monitor for personal computer stuff. I don't know how loud the game audio is for you guys, so if it does get quite loud, let me know. I tend to keep it quite low. So I only had one monitor, so that's why I didn't do much like streaming and stuff at all, because you kind of do need two monitors at least minimum for that. But I didn't have any space for anything bigger than the monitor that I was using. And then I finally got a new desk, and I'm now using my work monitor. But I'm now in a position where I've got a fairly new monitor, but I don't want to then just get rid of that one and get a new 1440p one. So I do stick to 1080. I'd love to go higher. Graphics wise, this is my settings. So not epic through the whole thing. The lowest I think I got is medium, general shadows, effects quality. That's what my settings are. All of this stuff here, motion blur, light bloom, light shafts and stuff, all of that's off. Can't stand any of that. Now the enable foliage and fluid interaction, I did actually have off for quite a while. So the foliage and fluid stuff is like when you go through foliage, it moves. When you go through water, you see it move. And quite a few months ago, there was crashes, I think, that was potentially related to that. And switching it off resolved those crashes that I was experiencing. And I had it switched off for ages. And I don't know if you found sometimes when you're messing about with your settings that the pebbles on the beach can suddenly like be hovering off the ground. And you can see through them, and I had that for ages, and I kind of just put up with it. It wasn't visually appealing, but I put up with it. I found out that it's actually related to that the foliage setting, so I re-enabled it, and I think it's got something to do with foliage interaction distance multiplier. If it's below 1, then it starts hovering. So I've changed that back to on, and that's gone now, and I don't have the crashes. So at some point in the first half of the year, Arc did actually fix those crashes related to this setting. But the issue with the patch notes is they say fix the crash. Well, I have no idea what crash what issues are related to those crashes, so it's not exactly helpful. But yeah, that's my settings. I don't know if you guys can see the FPS in the top corner, but that is, I'm not sure. I don't think it shows it, but that's the Steam setting. So yeah, as I was saying, this is where I am on the map on the island down here. And this is my base. I have the cat because it keeps the pesky seagulls away. Absolutely love it. It's the only thing I will carry around with me while I'm on the beach. I hope it works as well, Fruit Bat. Were you having any issues similar to what I was having? Because it definitely helped me. Hey, kicking chicken. Try and say that 6 times fast. Kicking chicken. Welcome to the stream. I'm just showing off my base. I haven't actually done a bit of a base tour yet, but I'm just about to sort of go around through it. As you can see, a lot of the structures or a lot of the skins that I use are from the Astrios structure mod, the custom cosmetics. Is really nice. I love the shiny aspect of it. It's really nice. And I'm hoping that Nakata's does do a few more things as well. He's just released an update to the cosmetics, and there's quite a few things in there. But I'm hoping he does continue when he gets time. Where are all of my creatures? I don't have a massive amount out at the moment. If we go around the back, we are doing a bit of a Therizino breeding program at the moment out the back. So I don't have a lot of the creatures out at the moment because I'm kind of in between playing and having breaks at the moment with Ark. So I tend to, when I take a break, I tend to throw them all into cryopods. So I don't have to faff about with that. So at the moment, I'm not really using the Gigantoraptor since this came back out. This egg incubator I absolutely love. So mainly I got Therizinos, got me Oviraptor. He's got a load of eggs already. And then I got this idiotic piece of junk. This robot I use for filling up the trough. With berries and stuff. So the only mods that I'm using really, I'm only really using 3 mods. So I'm using AA. So this is where I put all of my stuff, and then it transfers it to all of these storage units. And also it will pull all of the berries from the crop plots into this unit here. And then this pile of junk will collect those berries and take them to this trough outside, which is nice and full of flowers. Pretty. And then I have my dog. And then in here, which is the greenhouse, I got my dung beetle and I got 2 Phiomias for the poop. And then upstairs I got me what do you call it? Rhino. Which does actually still have the animated skin on. I can't quite remember why I put it on, but I kind of just left it on there. But I've still got lots to do on the base. I just get distracted and then get a bit bored. And I do have some creatures over on Ragnarok as well. Where was I? Oh yeah. Right. Theres are generally my favourite creature in Ark, and have been pretty much since they got first released, way back in Ark Evolved. I absolutely love them. I use them generally for all of the bosses. Obviously, I don't use them for like the Aberration boss because you can't take Theres to Aberration. I don't use them for the Overseer. But I generally do tend to use them. I use them for all of the island ones. And I'm trying to breed this green colour in at the moment. So, at the moment, where's my male? So, at the moment, these are my... This is what I'm breeding at the moment. So, health, they're born at 13,500, which I think is about 73 points, and melee is 513.9, which is about 66 points, I think. As you can see, it's not imprinted. I'm not bothering to imprint them at the moment. So that is basically when they're hatched, and then it will get 100% imprint on top of that, and then obviously the 88 levels that go into it. So I am currently working on only mutating the health and the melee, nothing else. I did do a few mutations in stamina, but I'm not doing any more in that. No, this isn't official. This is a private server. I don't do official on Ark. Taming, I think my taming's set to 3 times, I think. I believe it is 3 times. And my breeding is fairly high. I think it might be 9 times or something like that. I don't want to hang around for waiting for them to mate again and then waiting for the eggs to incubate, although it's not as bad now with this because I can leave them all in there. I do kind of wish it had more slots than 10, so I could just leave them all in there. So it's not as bad now that I have this. But what the egg incubator needs is it needs a destroy all. I don't know what you guys think about this, but clicking on this and clicking on destroy every single time, it needs a destroy all button. It is quite repetitive going 1, 2, 2, because like literally I stick these in, and then as soon as I've stuck them in, all I need at the moment is a 75 on health and a 68 on melee. So if I don't get that, I just destroy them straight away. In fact, this one has a 75. This one's ready to mate. So this one has a 75 in health. So it spawns, it hatches with 13, almost 14,000. Yes, it could auto select the next egg. Yeah, from slot 1 to slot 2. Let me just quickly check these. 73. You see, all of those are useless for the breeding. It's like, this is painful. And if I misclick, then like if I think I've clicked it and I don't, it's like, it's just, yeah, it needs to destroy it all. But let's have a look. Hang on. Let me show you my hang on a sec. Where's my camera? Hang on. Okay. So this is the Arc Smart breeding tool. and this is what I'm doing at the moment with my Therazinos. So as you can see, the damage has 14 mutations, or well, that's what, 7 mutations. So it's got 14 points there for mutations, and the health 12 with this new 14. So this this green color is what I'm trying to get in at the moment, and then obviously I'm trying to get this 14 combined into a 339. And yeah, it's taking forever. I don't know if you guys use Arc Smart Breeding. I don't know how people can do it without using Arc Smart Breeding, to be honest. It makes it so much easier to just see the information there. I know Arc has got better with that in terms of some tools and stuff in the game that helps you see this information, like the egg incubator, etc. But just having it in this format is so much easier for me. Building Jurassic Park on RAG using the bunker mods. I've not used a bunker mod, so I'm not quite sure what's actually in that, but it does sound really interesting. Presumably you need some flat land on RAG for that, depending on what part of Jurassic Park you're building. I think there's quite a bit of flat land on RAG, isn't there? From what I can remember, it's the one thing that I always look for on a new map is flat land. Because unfortunately Arc doesn't do terraforming and stuff, but I would absolutely love to be able to do stuff like that. I do actually have somebody else. Let me go and see if I can find him. He's going to be around here somewhere. There he is. Now, this is a completely useless piece of junk.
Honestly, now what?
So, I have one in my base for transferring crops, transferring berries into the trough, and he works really well. He hardly ever has any issues. He may sometimes spin around, but generally he is working really well and doesn't have any issues. I've tried having one focused on fertilizer for the crop plots, but he always has issues. He always walks into doors and stuff, so I'm doing that manually now. This guy I decided to set up to do harvesting, and he's harvested a load of stuff, and every so often he'll take it back to the base, but he just ends up doing this, and I think it's partly to do with the fact that it can't find any more resources to harvest from, even though there's like big rocks and stuff around. But he just gets fucking stuck. So every so often I kind of do a reset. Well, I don't know where he's running off to now. He's over there. But he's still going around in circles.
Back on my shelf. Hard labor, is it?
So yeah, useless.
So good to me.
Oh, near the lighthouse. So that's round by the Highlands, isn't it? The lighthouse, I think. So that's pretty much my base at the moment. I haven't got a lot of stuff because I keep on getting distracted by doing other things. And I have my flag up there as well, GP, for nobody else to see because nobody else is on the server. But I like to stick that up there. And these flowers and stuff, I think, were part of the Easter event, I think. So they're like the official cosmetics. I like having stuff like that. Just makes it look nicer. I did have a poker table here. Unfortunately, that's gone. I know some people are quite upset about that. So I just had to replace it with a table and put some mortar and pestles on. Rip poker table. Thank you, Dave. That's very, 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 very kind of you. Yes, very much appreciated. And thank you. I'm not very good at base designing, base building, and all of that stuff. Mine tend to be not necessarily like a square box, but it always tends to be square rather than trying to get things slightly different shape from square, like round and stuff like that. I get frustrated by it. Not so much now that we've got the construction stuff, but before that, it was quite frustrating. I don't have building, but I don't have a lot of imagination around how to make a building look really, really fancy and stuff. So this is pretty much what I come up with. As you can see, if we go over here, it is very square. So the top part I need to redesign. That's one of the things where I kind of got distracted by other things and I haven't finished it. But it is very, very straight and square, no sort of rounded bits. I just can't do anything fancy. But I tried to make it look nice. I was gonna do a little area here for the raft and stuff, but I haven't really done much at the moment on this because the last time I went out on a raft, I faced the leads and it got destroyed. And if I do travel around at the moment, I'm just flying on my Rhino. So I kind of thought I don't really use a raft at the moment, so it's not really a priority for me, but I'd like to make a little sort of like a little dock here for the raft. I think that would be pretty cool. I've only got this here because I'm doing a breeding program, so that's just to get rid of, or at least it used to be getting rid of the babies that I didn't want, but now that I've got this, I don't need that. Yeah, Tommy, that's the same as me. No matter how hard I try, my base either ends just like, looks like a large box with boxes on top of it and stuff. And quite often, if I decide to try something completely new, it ends up looking pretty much like the last base that I built. My imagination for base building is non-existent. But what I do kind of do quite well is the colors that I use, even though the base might not look great, the colors I quite like. And at the moment I've gone for a sort of a white and gold theme, which I really like. So this stuff here, the wooden part, is what the base originally looked like, and I just haven't got around to upgrading it like I have with this. But yeah, I do quite well on the colors, just not on the actual building part. And also my dog, my armor doggo, feeds me and waters me whenever I'm around the base, which is a lifesaver, because I don't have to bother focusing on food and keeping an eye on things like that. So he just sits there. Sometimes he disappears. I still don't know why. You know what? I've actually used Google search for build styles before. I think when the Astrios cosmetics came out originally, I was looking up for some like actual Greek buildings and stuff, and see what they're actually like, particularly like the historic ones, which a lot of them did have a lot of like circular parts. And I started trying to copy one, and it I didn't get very far with it, to be honest. I still struggled. I think the frustration with Ark's building sometimes just gets too much, and I'm like, no, I got to give up. But I do sometimes do that, Google searches and stuff. Like when I play Enshrouded, I don't know if any of you guys have played Enshrouded, but I had the same issue there with building. It was like literally just a sort of a square box with other square boxes added to it. But the good thing with Enshrouded is the world has buildings already on the map in different locations and stuff. Some of them, there's little villages where there's lots of different types of buildings. And you can take over those buildings and you can refurbish them. And that's what I've done on Enshrouded. I still play Enshrouded. I haven't had for a while. I haven't jumped on there for a while. But I've taken over a whole like village area, and it looks really nice now. And I think I've done a fantastic job on it. But the buildings themselves are basically what the game developers made, and I've just refurbished it. Like they look pretty much the same, but I've changed the material, the structures that I use and stuff like that, so they look different from what the game produced. But in terms of the shape and size, they're all pretty much the same. I'd love to have something like that in Ark, so that the Ark devs can build stuff and make it look really cool, and then I just take over those buildings, to be honest. Yeah, but some people on Ark do fantastic, and I'm so envious of their skill and their patience to actually do that sort of work. I would love to have that myself. Killer Ray, hello. Yes, you've never caught my live before, because this is only the second time that I've gone live on YouTube. I've done some TikTok live streams. One of the issues with the TikTok live streams is their system is very hot on reproduced content. They don't like it. So for example, I did a live stream on TikTok yesterday, and I was on camera like this, just talking. I didn't have Ark up, and I was just talking. And then I decided to display the patch notes from the latest Ark update. And the moment camera on the screen, like I didn't make it small like it is here on YouTube. I think if it detects that there's still a camera, it won't restrict you, and things like that. So it's really, really finicky. But I do get a lot of people watching me on TikTok Live, so it's just disappointing that it has so many issues. But I am trying. Let me just check something. It doesn't show on my end. If that's going to help improve things, it might need a stream reboot potentially. But it's not showing anything on my end, so I can't see whether it's actually helping. But let's have a look. Yeah, so this is the patch notes. There was actually quite a lot of fixes in the patch notes, but I can't. Most of the time, I find when I go, they're not actually anything that I'm aware of myself. So, I mean, there's lots of fixes, but a lot of them I don't actually have. I don't experience issues myself, to be honest. Okay, I've just logged out of Ark. I'm not sure if that was causing the issues with the buffering or not. But yeah, there was nothing in the community crunch in terms of news really at all. It basically, they don't often patch notes in the community crunch. So as soon as you see that they've done a recap of patch notes from a recent update in the community crunch, is because they don't really have much else to say in the community crunch, because outside of the patch notes, all you've got is Ark Apocalypse being wiped, the Evo event, and that's it. So if they notes in there, then there wouldn't be anything in there. I think that's why they stick them in there. But I am wondering actually if they're going to be introducing another Ark Editions creature soon, potentially, because it's been a while now since we got the last one, which I think was the Dinotherium, and they usually release the Ark Editions creatures between maps. So I think one is potentially coming up. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are waiting for any of the Ark Editions creatures. We've still got the Acrocantho, the Brachy, the Helicopter, the Concavinator, and the Cryolophosaurus. there is talk of the Suchomimus, the Dinosaurs, and the Velociraptor possibly coming as well. I expect they're going to be a long time off, especially and he's working on the Megaraptor. So busy. He is pretty busy. So yeah, I think it might potentially be the Acrocanthosaurus and the Helicoprion that might come. I think Mackie is meant to be coming last. He has recently been working, I think, on the Cryolophosaurus. I think he showed some images off of that a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. I'm not sure. When that was now. Yeah, they are doing a lot of new different. Some of the taming methods, particularly for the Archeditions creatures. Let's take that off. For the Archeditions creatures, the taming methods generally come from the submissions themselves. So I don't think there's been any Archeditions. No, sorry, not Archeditions. It's the creature votes from the submissions. I don't think there's been. I don't think there's been any creature submissions that hasn't got the taming method that the submission provided. I don't think Wildcard have changed any of those and introduced their own taming method. So for those, it really does come down to what the submission includes. And of course, people can use that to decide whether they vote for a particular creature. But they are doing a lot of unique taming methods. The Megaraptor is going to have a new unique one as well. I don't know if it's going to be similar to something else have. I'm not sure. Sometimes they might adapt them a little bit more. But the taming method for the Megaraptor is, if I remember correctly, you need to have a torch, like a flame, and it's gonna have like a load of bones or something spawn nearby when it's been killing creatures and stuff, and you need to claim that. So I suspect when you claim that, you have to go up to it and probably press E to claim it. So it's going to be similar to the Gigantoraptor nests, where you press E to sit in the nest to start the taming process. I think it's going to be like that. So you claim the pile of bones by pressing E, and then you've got to have your torch out. Now, I only just realized the other day that when you have a torch on your belt, which I always forget that Ark Ascended introduced that, when you put a torch on your belt, you can hold a second torch in your hand. So I don't know if that's going to help even more, but it sounds like the Megaraptor is going to circle you. As you've claimed its bones and its pile of bones and stuff, it's going to circle you. And it sounds like you're going to have to hold your torch and keep it at a distance as it's circling you and trying to get you. But there must be more to it than that, because how is the taming bar going to progress? How is it going to increase? So I think it's going to be something similar to that, but not quite sure in its entirety. It sounds simple, sounds like a simple process, but I think it's probably going to be a lot more frustrating than that, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I like the simple knockout tames. I think the issue they had with Ark Evolved was that because all of the creatures, all the original creatures, were knockout tames, and then they introduced some egg steel ones, but most of them were knockout tames and passive taming. There were so many creatures that had those that started getting old and tiresome, and people wanted new methods of taming that may be a bit more immersive. So they started introducing this different taming methods, and it was pretty cool at the time. But then it became almost every single creature that comes out then gets a new taming method. There wasn't a healthy mix of regular knockout or passive taming and new methods. It was just everything has a new method. There have been a few that have come out with a basic knockout tame recently, like the one of the Ark editions was just a knockout tame. But yeah, they went and started doing all of them with the new taming method, and then after a while that gets a bit tiresome for some people because they kind of want some new ones that have that traditional knockout tame. But it's one of those things where you're not going to please everyone. You introduce a new creature with a basic knockout tame, some people are going to love that, some people are going to say, oh, I'm bored of that, so you're not going to please everyone. But I think they do need a bit more of a mix between the traditional knockout and passive taming and the new stuff, which sometimes can be fun but can also be frustrating. Yeah, the bison is knockout as well. I was happy to see that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how strong the Megaraptor is going to be. I had a bit of an opinion about it, which now I think about it, I might be wrong. And there's no surprise there. I'm wrong about a lot of things, and I do admit that. But the wording about the Megaraptor, and they said something about it's a solo creature. It doesn't like being around other creatures, even its own kind. And from that, and it also said it loses its fighting edge if there's too many other creatures around it. And from that, I took it as being probably useless for boss fights, because you're going to have quite a few other creatures in your team, plus there's going to be a lot of enemy spawns as well in the arena. So I took it that it wasn't going to be good for boss fighting, and I covered that in a video. But since I covered that in a video, there have been some people comment to me saying they believe that all that means is when the Megaraptor is being used on its own, it may have some sort of a fighting edge buff, and the more creatures around it, it will lose that fighting edge buff, but it might still be strong as a base creature. So it may be that you can still use it in boss fights, but you just won't necessarily get that extra buff from it because of the other creatures around it. So it may not be useless in boss fights. I did originally think at the time that it's going to be useless, So that may not be the case. I just hadn't thought of that aspect of it. But wildcard are never really clear on things that they talk about, what they say and stuff. There's always speculation. There's always questions. Things don't make sense and stuff. So I'm very interested to see whether there is any sort of strength to it. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of strength. Sorry about the live ads. I'm not used to this yet, so it doesn't tell me when there's going to be an ad. I thought it does, but like I think on Twitch it tells you when there's going to be an ad. Maybe YouTube does do that. So I do apologize for that. Hi Cypher and Unname. Welcome to the live. I've been showing off some Ark stuff. I'm not sure if the stream is still buffering. Apparently it was buffering when I was showing Ark. I don't know if it's still doing that since then. But I'm probably not going to be on live for much longer because I am going to be watching the England-Spain match at 5 o'clock. Hoping that England win the Euros. So I will be jumping off soon. But thank you for joining. I'm going to try and do these a bit more often. But probably not have a schedule for lives because I can do them in the evening, but I'd probably only prefer to do them at weekends. And then when the weekend comes and I'm like, oh no, I can't be asked. So at the moment, I'm not in a position to do a sort of a schedule. Yes, the megalo is pretty much useless on all maps except aberration. It is disappointing. I do think that the megalo should have the buff at night, but just be normal at day, or a bit less strength than normal during the day, but not actually become tired and become useless. I would prefer that because when aberration first came out in Ark Survival Evolved, Megalosaurus became my favorite tame because obviously I didn't really use it on the island or anything like that, and it became my favorite tame to use on aberration. I would go everywhere on aberration with it, with the exception of places, some places, but I used to go everywhere on it. I don't know what happened there. I just had a message come up from YouTube Studio, and I've just found out where I can delay the ads and stuff. So I've just seen that, so that's quite interesting. So yeah, I used to use the Megalosaurus constantly on aberration until the raptors got the pounce ability, and as soon as they got the pounce ability, I stopped using the megalo because I kept on getting pounced off of the Megalosaurus, and that became a real pain. In Ark Ascended, they took away the pounce ability from the aberrant raptors, which stayed in Evolved. They took it away from the normal raptors, but left it with the aberrant ones. In Ark Survival Ascended, they took that away from the aberrant ones. So I started using the Megalosaurus again on aberration. But my love for Aberration was lost when it came out on Ascended. And I was really looking forward to that map. And it's just, I don't like it anymore. I loved it on Evolved, but yeah. I'm 45, Cypher. Earlier this month. So yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And yeah, it's not rude. You know, people can ask that sort of thing. If I don't want to answer, then I won't answer. But yeah, I'm happy to say I'm 45. I think this probably gives it away a bit as to, you know, the fact that I'm not a young'un. But the Megalosaurus is going to get the pounce ability. So basically, they've taken it away from the raptors and the aberrant raptors, and now they're reintroducing it with the did I say Megalosaurus? Not Megalosaurus, the Megaraptor. So they're reintroducing it with the Megaraptor, but of course the Megaraptor is not going to be as common as the Raptor. So it is getting that ability, but it's not going to be as bad, which I think is good. I like having that risk of being pounced off of something, like when you go through the redwoods and stuff. But with the raptors having the pounce ability, it was just constant. It was kind of like when the wild sharks, megalodons, the wild megalodons, when they got the bleed ability, it was insane because they're everywhere in the ocean, and they would come at you the moment you got into the ocean, and they quickly took that away from the wild ones because it was just it was insane, and that was even worse than raptors, to be honest. So introducing the pounce back with the Megaraptor, I think, is a good thing, to add that extra level of risk. But it's not going to be as bad as the raptors, because there's not going to be as many of them. Thank you, Unname. Thank you. I don't do anything. I just age. Yeah, I don't do anything special. I just age and keep this trimmed. Hey Cam, I'm doing good, thanks. My Sunday's going well. Been streaming for a bit. Not sure how long. Not sure where I can see the time. I don't think it's I can't see where it records that, but I think it's been just over an hour actually. I've been streaming. So I did show some Ark stuff earlier. I did a tour of my base and stuff like that. So unfortunately you missed that, but yeah, we've just been chatting about Ark and stuff. But yeah, it's going well. I am going to be ending the live shortly because I'm going to be watching the England-Spain game at 5 o'clock. I think that's when kickoff is at. Hoping that England win the Euros for the second time. So we are coming to an end. But thanks for joining in. Yeah. Hopefully the Megaraptor stays relevant. I think a lot of creatures these days don't stay relevant. New creatures come out, people play with them, try them out, and then I think a lot of the time people just go back to the creatures that they're already using. There may be some creatures that have a special ability that people will use, like the bison, for example, with the milk and all that sort of stuff. But I think a lot of the creatures that do get introduced, particularly maybe on the Arcadition side and some of the voted creatures, people will use them for a little while, but then they lose relevance. I think that's something that happens a lot, to be honest, at least from my side. Deadbee, I'm not a dev. I'm not part of Wildcard. I'm just an art player and content creator that focuses on the news. But I do get that question a lot. But no, I'm not a dev. I'd love to be a dev. If I could give up my full-time job and be a dev, I would love to. Thank you, Tommy. Welcome to the membership as a survivor. Thank you very much. Thanks, Cam. I will try and enjoy the footy, but it'll probably be stressful like always because England like a stressful game. I don't know how my heart takes it sometimes. I'm not like a big football fan. I only watch Euros and World Cup when England are involved. That's literally all I watch of football. So I'm not watching like lots of matches and stuff. It's just I like the competitions that involve different countries when England are involved. That's it. But yeah, it's always stressful watching England play. But hopefully they'll beat Spain. Really hoping they do. But yeah, I think I am probably going to end it there now. Thank you all for joining. I know I don't do streams that often. I don't give advance notice when I'm going to do them. I kind of like it that way. I just Sunday afternoon, bit of a chill, decide to stream and just switch it on and see who comes along. And I really appreciate everyone that's come in today, chatted with each other, and see what my base looks like and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. I will try and do another stream a bit sooner than the last one. I think the last one I did was 3 weeks ago now. So I'm hoping to do another one in shorter time than that. But what my plan is, because I'm trying to get used to doing streaming more and used to showing gameplay while streaming as well, I might need to work on my settings a bit on that for the buffering and stuff. But I'd like to build up my streams a bit more and the confidence, although I'm not feeling like I'm lacking confidence, but I'd like to get a bit smoother in streaming in time for Lost Colony to release in December and in time for the Extra Life event in November. Those are two big things that I want to work on my streaming for. And this is why I'm starting to do streams more now. So that's what my goal is at the moment. So thank you for being part of that. I really do appreciate it. So I will catch you all next time. Thanks again for joining and have a good weekend. Thanks. Bye.